Okay, so if your setters suck and you keep hiring and firing setters and you actually want your setters to book calls for you, then I'm going to walk you through what to do. My name's Adam, this is my business. We help coaches to scale by hiring, training, and managing setters on their behalf, and then actually training them to book calls every single day. So the first thing is you're hiring based on price. And the problem is when you hire based on price, you're actually going to get someone who has a lower skill level. Many coaches, they go out there and they look for a appointment setter who is working on commission or a low fee or something like that. And in the end, you basically pay for what you get. You pay for the price you're paying for isn't going to get you much. You know, cheap usually means low experience, and you're going to waste more time actually trying to replace them. Okay, so avoid trying to get a good deal is the main point, especially if you're a genuine coach who has good testimonials and wants to scale. Avoid setters who are cheap. Not asking for proof of results. So no screenshots equals no evidence. So anyone can say they've done it, and you basically need proof. And the reason you need proof is because many people will promise you and tell you that they've done this and done that, and I've worked with this company and that company. But if you don't have any results, if they can't show you what they've done, then they're unable to prove it. They have to be able to prove it. And many people on Upwork and these other websites, they are new. So you have to be looking for proof of results and what they're able to actually achieve. The next is hiring someone who can't explain their process. So this shows lack of real understanding. They rely on scripts, they're not thinking, and good setters can break it down easily. So you as a business owner should have your systems in place, right? So you understand how to book calls, how to run ads, how to do this, this, and this. When you're hiring a setter, you need someone who is more knowledgeable than you on setting, because if you hire them and they try to say, oh, well, we just follow a script and we do this and we talk friendly and we ask questions, it's not enough. They need to be able to tell you the exact step by step of what they do. Number 4 is choosing willing to learn over experience. So many people will say, oh, I'm willing to learn on the job, I'm willing to work on a commission basis. And these people, these are just desperate attempts to get clients, right? You know, if you're good at what you do, you don't need to give someone this ultimatum of, oh, if I don't perform, you can just fire me, and I'm willing to learn on the job. I'm going to be, you don't want to hire someone like that. This is your business. You're trying to scale. You don't want to hire someone in that way. Not testing them live. You don't see real ability. Talking doesn't equal performing, and role play reveals everything. So a lot of the time what I do is I go through like a role play with the setter. So I'll throw them some questions to see how they will respond. Even without giving them a script, I want to see how they can improvise, because a lot of the time you're going to give them a script, yes, but there's going to be times when they're going to need to go off the script. And it's those times, can they improvise? And if a good setter, I've been setting for many, many years, and I can say with or without a script, I'm able to improvise and I can create one in my own head. And I'm looking for that when I'm hiring a setter. So hiring without a system in place. So if you don't have a system in place, you're not going to be able to scale, and you're not going to be able to hire a setter, because a setter needs a system in place for them to work with. If you're just going to hire a setter and expect them to work magic in your business, then it's not going to happen. You need to make sure that you have that system set. And the next thing is ignoring communication style. So if they are robotic, this is going to kill the trust, and over formal is unnatural. The DM should be human and simple. So anything where it's like overly formal, talking like a customer sales representative, anything like that feels fake, and it just feels like an AI. You may as well use an AI, even though it's not that good. But if you're going to use a human, you need to make sure they're talking like a human. So using emojis, using a little bit of slang, shortening words sometimes. Depends what kind of your business is. If you're helping people, like let's say you're a female coach, that's going to be one way. But if you have some kind of consulting firm, obviously you want to be a bit more professional. So it really depends. So you need to make sure that the setter is able to adapt their communication style. Number 8 is not checking their English level. So poor wording creates confusion, misconception loses leads, and clear language equals better replies. So if they're not good at speaking English, then you don't want to hire them. You want someone who English is like second nature to them. Obviously, if you're going to go for someone who has English as their first language, you're going to pay more money. But if you're going to go for someone in another country, you want to make sure their English is absolutely like airtight. Number 9 is hiring without clear expectations. So you need to make sure you have targets. Otherwise, they're not going to have no direction of what they should be doing every day. You need to be able to measure their performance, and you need to make sure they understand what their inputs are, so you know what your outputs are. Because here's the thing: if you don't have expectations of your setter, they're not going to be able to meet any expectation that you have of them. So you need to say how many DMs do you expect, how many calls do you expect, what kind of performance you expect. Even if they don't get the results, what kind of inputs do you want from them? Next is letting them do their own thing. So if they do their own thing, there's going to be no control over the conversation. When there's no control over the conversation, it's going to go here, there, and everywhere, and you're going to waste time, which basically wastes your money. Messaging becomes inconsistent. So when the message is inconsistent, there's no flow, and you're not going to be able to close the call, and you're going to waste time, as I said, and you may lose a lead. Results become unpredictable. So if you're talking with someone here and someone there and doing your own thing and wasting time here and there, then you're not really going to know what conversation got what result. You need to stick to a script for 90% of the time. Next is not looking for confidence. So hesitation kills momentum. Weak energy loses control. Confidence drives decisions. So you want to look for someone who is confident in their ability, not someone who is stuttering, not someone who seems a bit shy, someone who is actually confident at doing their job, and someone who you can hear in their voice they are confident about doing the job and that they've done it before. The next one is ignoring objection handling skills. You want to make sure they're able to handle objections. Customers, or shall I say prospects, will push back, and a weak setter is going to fold quickly, right? And when they fold, they're going to lose a lead. So good setters know how to guide. Okay, it's a very important point. Might as well give it this little highlight. So good setters know how to guide through. Okay, guide the person through to booking a call, for example. Next is hiring too fast. You don't want to hire too fast. This leads to poor decision making. No proper vetting process, and ends the constant and keeps you having to keep rehiring. So if there's no proper vetting process, you're just going to end up hiring someone who you don't really know how good they are. You need to vet them properly, as I said, by following the advice that I'm giving you in this video. You need to make sure you're vetting them, taking them through a role play, testing them, seeing how they respond, testing their English, etc. The next is not checking consistency. Some people perform short-term only, and then the results drop. You need to make sure you remind them daily, and you have meetings daily and weekly to make sure they're on top of their game all of the time. And also training them, add this in. Training them regularly. That's important. Many people don't do that. They train them one time, but you want to train every single week. Next is expecting them to fix a broken system. This is probably the most important point. If you're a business owner, your system should be working, and if it's not working, you can't expect some setter to come in and fix it. If you have no leads, there's not going to be any conversations. If you have a bad offer, there's going to be no conversions. Setters can't fix this. Okay, and if you need help hiring a setter, training a setter, or managing a setter, you can see my website. We basically find clients who are ready to buy. We have a conversation with them, we follow up with them, we talk with them, guide them through the conversation, and then we fill your calendar up with qualified leads. So if you're looking to scale, if you're looking to grow, if you're a coach, business coach, any kind of coach, and you like the advice that I've given you in this video, then look forward to the next video. Or click the link in the bio and I'll help you out. So, thank you.